I'm sorry for the bad translation, it's over Google, and I hope you can even understand it. Okay, ciao.
Hello dear friends. I think about the quality of the small projector Acer K11. I need not say much. What stands out immediately is the large number of inputs for source devices. There remains little to be desired. What is missing and what hurts is the fact that one must be content only with the small quack for the sound if you do not operate on the source unit or amplifier even and inserted additional appropriate boxes. Especially if you want to watch a movie in AVI format. It's annoying that basically everything is available on the K11 which is needed for this. The provision of an SD which recognizes tested by me 32GB SD card problem, and one wonders why the otherwise top-equipped Acer K11 or the audio out has donated. Since the K11 makes a rather pathetic impression. The sound is beneath contempt and is really only a stopgap measure. Discover I've researched a little, but rather only to requests for opportunities, but express an interest in a workable solution. As I understand something of the subject, I have now decided to buy my sweet K11 an audio output. Advance wants the same result. IT works and is not so difficult, if not quite the one to basket without tinkering occurs. The built-in speaker falls victim to the whole procedure, indeed must come from somewhere of course. The duty but is take on. Car should be all that the warranty is void if such an intervention. First of all, should be available the following tools. First, Phillips screwdriver to open the device. Second, tweezers is offset so that one can also hold small screws on the inside. Third, pointed nose pliers or fourth cutters. Fifth, soldering iron, not the one you used for soldering for gutters. Sixth, fane lot, 1mm. Seventh, possibly measuring instrument / continuity tester. Eighth, suitable or appropriate tool for the drill hole of the audio jack. Furthermore, one needs a 9th 3.5mm mono jack socket for insulation. Here ever find, with a continuity tester, the pole that is possibly connected with the insertion of the plug. Recommendation: use insulated sleeve, as the body is metallized on the inside and I do not know if the speaker output from short circuit damage could take the case. 10th, a resistance of about 10 to 20 ohms. What you should get specialist shops easily, without wanting to make surreptitious advertising, is a Conrad focal point. The resistance needed for the completion of the 1W amplifier. I do not know how the electronics remains a possible short circuit. Your discretion is the better part of valor, and therefore to build the resistive load, which is the original speaker, prefer with one, then the output should be adequately protected. Since inputs are high impedance amplifier following anyway, that means no problem and there is enough juice from the output. When everything is ready you can start. First, opening the case of K11. Very nice of Acer is the processing. There are no hidden hooks and eyes. The cover is secured with 4 screws with metric threads and easy to solve with a Phillips screwdriver. Attention! 3 screws sit below the housing and the 4th screw is located above the side of the 19V power connector. Second, after having loosened screws, you can easily remove the cover from the top and you see the board in front of him. The keypad is almost only on the board and can be put aside. Third, the board is fastened with 4 screws. You will now make the various connectors are located on the bottom and are connected with more or less long lines. So there is little leeway for a full lifting of the board. Fourth is now at the back of the small speakers to the 4, which is the first slot on the board with a 2-wire cable, red/black, is connected. We can cut a connector and the cable gently pull each speaker with some needle nose pliers, so that we get more leeway. Note that clamps a little, not head down. Fifth, the speakers we see the housing and cut a line. The loudspeaker transmits we need not hear anymore. Here, the space from then to place the mounting socket. Sixth, now, some fine-tuning is in order. I have the hole for the socket with the hand grinder carefully cut out of the back until it was perfect. Then you must have the necessary heat sink to loosen 2 screws, which is located directly behind the lines. So you can use the jack 7th before it comes to be inserted. We solder to the resistor to one pole of the bushing in the first line the roto, and the second line to the remaining second connector of the bushing. My jack has a switch contact which switches to insertion of the jack. Here's to the right pole to be respected. Then the remains active. 8th, now that we have pushed the heatsink and motherboard to the side, we can install and tighten the socket. It's a little tricky and caution should be exercised so that no tearing lines, but with some sensitivity should also be bewerkstellig. 9th, the connector is firmly seated. The connections have to be somewhat isolated and bent so that the replacement of the cooling plate without contact can be made active parts. If necessary, contacts adjust anything, so everything has its place. 10th, then we pull the speaker wire back a bit towards the plug and plug it back into the appropriate socket on the motherboard. 11th, now reassemble everything in reverse order. Screw the motherboard. Then hang the panel correctly and also superimpose this case and also tighten the screws. 12th, now, let's get to test. To an SD card with an AVI record on file. As a speaker amp I use a part of Vivanco Acer K11 LCD. This is an aluminum tube with integrated speakers and amplifier for notebooks/PCs is expected. The first tube is pulled apart before the speakers come to the fore. The thing has a decent sound and is very compact, irradiated without our problems. Public viewing for €2,012 in our atrium. 13th, if I just want you to have quite a lot of success with the conversion. I hope my little guide leads to success. For me it works quite well.
Hope the translation is not too bad to understand what I try to tell you. It's only Google. I'm so sorry. Bye.